Guys, I think we're lost.
What do you mean lost? I thought Brad was mapping.
No, I was eating Cheetos.
We told you to stop eating Cheetos. It gets all over the
I
player's
swear to
handbook.
God, Brad, if you put Cheeto dust on my player's handbook, I'm
Wait,
going
did we
to
come from
hurt
down
you.
this way? Or did we come from
That's
the other
what
way?
we're trying to figure out,
Where
Will.
did we
We
come
don't
from?
know where we came from.
Guys, you gotta be quiet. The show's starting.
The show? What show?
With a show of the vile necromancer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Vile Necromancer channel. I, of course, am the Vile Necromancer. Welcome back to the lair, and welcome back to creating a character old school style. Today, we discuss classes. I was going to split these up into two videos, but we are going to just do all the classes in one video. This is just the classes from the player's handbook. That book right up there. Or that book right up there. And there's also a third cover I don't have. But today we're going to be talking about classes. Now, class is a very important thing. You need a variety of them in a party in order to function well. A party of all 1 hit point magic users, I mean, you could do it. You probably wouldn't last long, but you could do it. So, key is variety. We're going to go through the classes. We're going to talk about prime requisites. We might talk a little bit about leveling today, but mostly we're just going to be focusing on classes. So, let's dive right into this. Let me fix my hair real quick. I was out driving today. Anyways, fighters. There's 3 fighters that you can play as. You can play as just your stock fighter. You can play as a ranger or a paladin. Now, almost all fighters have a hit dice of 10. That is the fighter and the paladin. The ranger, however, has 2d8 at first level and then gets a d8 as they level up. If you are playing a stock fighter, you need I believe a strength of 9. I'm not pulling the player's handbook down. I have some notes on my computer, so I'm just doing it on the computer today. As a fighter, you need a minimum strength of 9, and a constitution of 7 or greater. A good dexterity rating is highly desirable. If a fighter has a strength of 15, he or she adds a 10% to experience points awarded by the dungeon master. That's what we call a prime requisite. So, you need a 15 or higher. Above 15. Yeah, 15 or higher. Then, if you are wanting to play a fighter, you can play as a human, a dwarf, an elf, a gnome, a half-elf, a halfling, or a half-orc. Note the race limitations table. I think it's character race table 2 on page 14 of the player's handbook. You will note that they give class level limitations. Okay, back to the fighter. So, what magic items can you equip as a fighter? Well, you can equip potions, scrolls of protection, so like shield and such, a few wands, 1 rod, and all armor, shields, and weapons. At I believe it is level 9. When a fighter attains level 9, titled Lord, he or she may opt to establish a freehold. This is done by building some type of castle and clearing in the area in a radius of 20 to 50 miles around the stronghold, making it free from all sorts of hostile creatures. Whenever such a freehold is established and cleared, the fighter will automatically attract a body of men-at-arms led by an above-average fighter. These men will serve as mercenaries as long as the fighter maintains his or her freehold and pays the men-at-arms. And the fighter will collect a monthly revenue of 7 silver pieces for each and every inhabitant of the freehold due to trade, tariffs, and taxes. The fighter, when leveling up, takes 2,000 experience points to get to level 1, 2,000 more to get to level 2, 4,000 to get to level 3, 8,000, or no, not 8,000, that 10,000 to get to level 4, so on and so forth. If you want to look at that chart, you can get to go to page 22 of the Player's Handbook. Now, the Paladin. The Paladin has a hit dice of D10, as I said. Your prime requisite is a strength and wisdom of 15 or greater. Your stat requirements are you need a strength of 12, an intelligence of 9, a wisdom of 13, a constitution of 9, and a charisma of 17. If you are playing a paladin, you must be a human. Your alignment must be lawful good. Paladin's abilities. Paladin gets an detect evil at up to 60 feet distance as often as desired, but only when the paladin is concentrating on determining the presence of evil and seeking to detect it in the right general direction. You make all saving throws at +2 on the dice. You get immunity to all forms of disease. You have the ability to lay on hands either on others or on his or her own person to cure wounds. This heals 2 hit points of damage per level of experience the paladin has attained. So at first it's 2, at second it's 4th, at third it's 6, at 4th it's 8, at 5th it's 10, so on and so forth. But laying on hands can be performed but once a day. So once you do it, you gotta wait till the next day to do it again. The ability to cure disease of any sort. This can be done once per week for each 5 levels of experience the paladin has attained, i.e. at levels 1 through 5, 1 disease per week. But I think if you're going in and like trying to cure a minor plague, like you could just say cure disease on just a bunch of people. At level 6 through 10, 2 diseases at levels 11 through 15, etc. And they have the continuing admonition of protection from evil in a 1-foot radius around the paladin. At 3rd level, the paladin gains the power to affect undead and devils and demons as if he or she were a 1st level cleric, and this power goes upwards with level of experience the paladin gains. So at 4th level, the effect is that of a 2nd level. At 5th, it is that of a 3rd, so on and so forth. And we'll talk about the turn undead ability here in a second. At 4th level, however, or at any other time thereafter, the paladin may call for his or her warhorse. This creature is an intelligent, heavy warhorse with 5 plus 5 hit dice, 5d8 plus 5 hit points. AC 5, the speed of a medium warhorse. It will magically appear, but one such animal is available every 10 years, so if the first is lost, then the paladin must wait until the end of the period for another. If you lose your paladin abilities, it will also go away. If a paladin has a holy sword, a special magic sword which your referee is aware of and will explain to you if the need arises, he or she projects a circle of power in the diameter where the holy sword is unsheathed and held. That is a 1-foot diameter. And this power dispels magic. See character spells, dispel magic at the level of magic use equal to the experience of the paladin. So if the paladin is 7th level, it's a 7th level dispel magic. 4. At 9th level through 20th level of experience, paladins gain the ability to employ cleric spells. They may never use scrolls of spells, however, except those normally usable by fighters. So that protection of scrolls. The paladin restrictions is they may never retain more than 10 magic items. These may never exceed 1 suit of magical armor, 1 shield, 4 weapons of any kind, 4 of any other 4 weapons of any magical variety is what I mean, and 4 any other items. It is important to note that the weapons listed, these include daggers, swords, etc., and such items as magic bows and magic arrows are considered as but 1 weapon. So a magic bow with 12 arrows is 1 weapon. 2, they will never retain wealth, keeping only sufficient treasures to support themselves in a modest manner, pay henchmen, men-at-arms, and servitors to construct or maintain a small castle. Your DM will give details of this as necessary. Excess is given away as the thief. Thief? Tithe. Been saying teeth all these years. Tithe. The tithe. Given away as the tithe. An immediate tithe of 10% of all income, be it treasure, wages, or whatever, must be given to whatever charitable religious institution, not a clerical player character. So, for all those clerical player characters being like, hey, we're the same religion, you can just give that to me. No. No. As a paladin, no. But the institution must be of lawful good alignment that the paladin selects. Another restriction is paladins will have henchmen of lawful good alignment and none other. They will associate only with characters and creatures of good alignment. Paladins can join a company which contains non-evil neutrals only on a single expedition basis, and only if some end which will further the cause of lawful good is proposed. 5. If possible, paladins will take the service or form an alliance with lawful good characters, whether players or not, who are clerics or fighters of noble status. Rangers, as I said, they get that 2d8 at first level and a d8 past. Your prime requisite is a strength and intelligence and a wisdom of 15. You get your 10% bonus to experience with that. Your requirements is you get a strength of 13, an intelligence of 13, a wisdom of 14, and a constitution of 14. Those are your requirements. Your alignment must be of good alignment, but it can be lawful good, neutral good, or chaotic good. The ranger abilities. When fighting humanoid creatures of the giant class, which include bugbears, ettins, giants, gnolls, goblins, hobgoblins, kobolds, ogres, ogre magi, orcs, and trolls, the ranger add one's hit point for each experience of level they have attained to the point of damage scored. So you would roll. You would add. So let's say I'm rolling with a. We'll say a longsword. So I'm using a D8. Roll the D8. So I have a 5. Let's say I'm a 5th level. Fifth level. What is it? 5th level ranger with a strength of 17. So I'm adding a +1 to damage. I think I'm adding a +1 to damage. I'm almost certain I'm adding a +1 to damage. 17. Yeah, I'm adding a +1 to damage. That makes that 6. And since I'm a 5th level ranger, I'm adding +5 if it is an ettin or a giant class creature. Even if it's a bugbear, a giant, anything that's a giant type creature, I'm adding another 5. So that's 5 + 1 + 5. So the damage rolled, the damage adjustment, and the level. Hope that makes sense. What else? Rangers surprise opponents 50% of the time. So that's a 1 through 3, and are themselves surprised on a score of 1. Tracking is possible both outdoors and undergrounds in dungeons and dungeon-like settings. Underground, the ranger must have observed the creature to be tracked within 30 minutes of the commencement of tracking, and the ranger must begin tracking at the place where the creature was observed. So let's say you see a creature wandering, like you see a troll wandering into a cave, and you see it. As long as 30 minutes has not passed, you can go after it. It is 65% going along a normal passage or room. It is 55% if the creature passes through a normal door or uses stairs. 45 if they go through a trap door. 35 if it goes up or down a chimney or through a concealed door. And 25% if passes through a secret door. Outdoors, there's a base chance of 90%. You add +2% for each creature above 1 in the party being tracked. So you add +2. So if there's 5, then you would add 10. You subtract 10% for every 24 hours which has elapsed between making the track and tracking. And then -25 for each hour of precipitation. At 8th level, rangers gain limited druidic spell abilities, and additional spells are added through 17th level. At 9th level, rangers gain limited magic user spell abilities as well as druidic spell abilities. Rangers cannot read druid or magic user spells from magic scrolls in any event. At 10th level, a ranger lord, rangers are able to employ all non-written magical items which pertain to clairaudience, clairvoyance, ESP, and telepathy. Also at 10th level, each ranger attracts a body of 2 to 24 followers. Note that these henchmen, once lost, can never be replaced, though mercenaries can be hired, of course. These followers are determined by the DM, who then informs the ranger. So it's like Robin Hood and his band of merry men. Restrictions. Any change to non-good alignment immediately strips the ranger of all benefits, and the character becomes a fighter with an 8-sided hit dice ever after, and can never regain ranger status. Rangers may not hire men-at-arms, servants, aides, or henchmen until they attain 8th or higher level. Not hire men-at-arms, servants, or henchmen. So can they? Okay, so rangers can't do that. I think the party still can, though. 3. No more than 3 rangers may ever operate together at any time. 4. Rangers may own only those goods and treasures which they can carry on their person and or place upon their mount. All excess must be donated to a worthy communal or institutional cause, but never to another player character. See Paladin above. We have finished the fighters. On to the thieves. Ooh. To the Mrs. Dungeon Delver. Big fan of thieves over here. These are kind of based on the Fafford and Grey Mouser thieves in my world. So, let's dive in. Yes, thieves. With a hit dice of 6, you have a prime requisite of a dex of 15. Your alignments is neutral or evil, rarely neutral good. Class. You can play a half-orc, which has a level cap limit, or it's universal for the rest of the player character, or for the rest of the races. Thief abilities. You can pick pockets, or folds of garments, or a girdle. Also includes such activities as pilfering and filching small items. It is done by light touch and sleight of hand. Opening locks includes figuring out how to open sliding puzzle locks and foiling magical closures. It is done by picking with tools and by cleverness, plus knowledge and the study of such items. Finding/removing traps pertains to relatively small mechanical devices such as poison needles, spring blades, and the like. Finding is accomplished by inspection, and they are nullified by mechanical removal or by being rendered harmless. Moving silently is the ability to move with little sound and disturbance, even across a squeaky wooden floor, for instance. It is an ability which improves with experience. So it's going up as you're going up in levels. Hiding in the shadow is the ability to blend into dark areas to flatten oneself, and by remaining motionless when in sight to remain unobserved. It is a function of dress and practice. That's why thieves often wear darker clothes. 6. Listening at doors includes activities at other portals such as windows. It is accomplished by moving silently to the door and pressing an ear against it to direct the sound. Similar to this. Like that. And then kind of going like that. I can't hear. Shh, Bill. Shh. I hear something. Yeah, there's like 6 goblins in there. We gotta go get them. They say they got millions of gold. We're gonna go get them. Anyways, ascending and descending vertical surfaces is the ability of the thief to climb up and down walls. It assumes that the surface is coarse and other ledges and cracks for toe and handholds. So you're not just scaling up a sheer wall. It has to be a little coarse, so you're gripping up it, and there's cracks in it and such. Backstabbing is the striking of a blow from behind, be it with a club, dagger, or sword. The damage done per hit is twice normal for the weapon used per 4 experience points. Double damage at 4, triple at 1 through 4, triple at 5 through 8, quadruple at 9 through 10, and quintuple at levels 13 and 16. Note that striking by surprise from behind also increases the probability by 20%, plus 4 on the thief's to hit die roll. All thieves, regardless of alignment, have their own language. The thieves can't. This language is known in addition to others which may be learned because of race and or intelligence. At 4th level, title burglar, Thieves are able to read 20% of languages, and this ability increases by 5% for each additional level of experience until an 80% probability is attained. This enables the possible reading of instructions and treasure maps without having to resort to a magic item or spell. At 10th level, title Master Thief. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust myself in the chair here. Thieves are able to decipher magical writings and utilize scrolls of all sorts, including those of clerical but not druidic nature. However, the fact that thieves do not comprehend magic means that there is a 25% chance that writings will be misunderstood. Furthermore, magic spells from scrolls can be mispronounced when uttered, so there is an increasing chance per level of spell that it will be the reverse of its intent. Now on to assassins. You have a 15 dex prime requisite requirement. Let me check here. I forgot to write down the stat requirements here, so we're gonna look here. The assassin, you must have a strength of 12, an intelligence of 11 or more, and a dexterity score of 12. And for a thief, you need a dexterity of not less than 9. So that's it. High intelligence is also desirable, but so assassins with an intelligence of 15 or more are able to learn an alignment tongue, even those special languages of druids and thieves. So like thieves can't and druidic. Your alignment must be evil. Your classes you can play as your races you can play as is your human, half orc, dwarf, elf, gnome, or half elf. Now back to that intelligence ability. The ability of the languages is gained at 9th level, and with each advanced in experience level thereafter. The maximum number of alignment languages which can be spoken by an assassin is 4. 1 for each point of intelligence above 14, 1 at 15, 2 at 6, 3 at 17, and 4 at 18 intelligence. Note, any assassin would have to be 12th level chief assassin and have 18 intelligence to be able to speak 4 alignment languages. The assassin may select from the following languages: chaotic evil, chaotic good, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, druidic, lawful good, thieves' cant, and lawful neutral. Disguise. It can be donned in order to gain the opportunity to poison or surprise a victim, or for other reasons. The assassin can disguise him or herself so as to appear to be a human, semi-human, or humanoid creature of either sex. Disguise can lower height by 2 or 3 inches, or raise it by 4 to 5 inches. It can make the assassin look slimmer or appear much heavier. Disguise can make the assassin appear to be virtually any class of character, a simple pilgrim, a merchant, etc. There is a chance, however, that the victim or one of his or her henchmen or guards will notice the disguise. There is a base of 2% chance per day of disguised assassin being spotted. This chance goes upwards by 2% if the assassin is posing as another class, another race, or the opposite sex, maximum of 8% chance. Each concerned party, victim, henchman, bodyguards in proximity to the assassin will be checked for immediately upon meeting the disguised assassin for each 24-hour period thereafter. So you're rolling for every 24 hours, and you're rolling upon first meeting. The chance of spotting a disguised assassin goes downward by 1% for each point below 24 of combined intelligence and wisdom of the observer concerned, i.e. a victim with an intelligence and wisdom combined total of 20 has reduced his or her chance of spotting the disguised assassin by 4%. The reverse is also true. Intelligence and wisdom above a combined total of 30% increases the chance of detection by 1% per point. Note, true seeing or a wand of enemy detection will discover an assassin, as will detect evil or no alignment in some cases. Now, on to magic users. Magic users are different from thieves and fighters, as they use a d4 for hit dice. Their prime requisite is an intelligence of 16. They need at least a dexterity of 6 and an intelligence of 9. Their class level, or their class they can play as, I don't know why I keep putting class level, their race they can play as is human, elf, or half elf. Equipable magic items. There are many powerful items of magic which only this class or of character can employ. Most magic scrolls, wands, staves, and many of the miscellaneous items of magic are usable only by this class. So the class abilities. When a magic user attains 11th level, title wizard or higher, he or she may enchant or scribe magic scrolls. I talked about this in my game. I have it to where you can scribe scrolls at lower levels, or you like scribed a few scrolls at lower levels, but that is using usually a right quill. So you can do it at lower levels if you have a right quill. This is without a right quill. You can just write it in normal ink. This process requires the undivided attention of the magic users for quite long periods of times, weeks to months, and it is also costly. As the dungeon master is carefully instructed to keep an exact record of the game time spent in such activities, the magic user will effectively remove himself or herself for a number of adventures while enchanting items or inscribing scrolls of magical spells. As this relative inactivity means the character will not get experience points and treasure, monetary or magical, gained from adventures which takes place during the inactive period, it is not unusual for a wizard to manufacture many items or scrolls. However, as occasional enchantments of items or penning of magic items will take place, your referee has complete information on the process, including probabilities, time required, materials needed, and costs. The second class ability is it is possible for a magic user of 12th level or higher to construct a stronghold and clear the countryside in a 10 or 20 mile radius of all monsters, thus ruling an area much as a noble. If this is accomplished, a revenue of 5 silver pieces per inhabitant per month is generated in the territorial rule. Illusionists, again, that d4 hit dice, you need a 15 intelligence. Your stat requirements are a minimum intelligence of 15 and a minimum dexterity of 16. You can play a human or a gnome. Equipable magic items, all potions, not restricted to fighters only. Illusionist scrolls and magic user scrolls, which contain spells usable by illusionists. All rings, rod of cancellation, staff striking, and wands of enemy detection, fear, illusion, magic detection, metal and mineral detection, secret door and trap detection, and wonder. Miscellaneous magic items usable by every classic character, crystal balls, but not with any added powers, all robes, excluding Robe of the Archmagi, and books to similar written works readable by magic users. Artifacts are another usable magic item, which are not prescribed items with respect to illusionists, such as armors, swords, axes, etc. Magic daggers. Illusionists are capable of manufacturing those magical items which create or sustain illusion. They do so at 10th level. Illusionists and above. They may do so at 10th level, title illusionist and above. This is done in much the same manner in which regular magic users create magic items. Class abilities. Illusionists are capable of manufacturing those magical items which create or sustain illusion. They may do this at 10th level, title illusionist, and above. This is done in much the same manner in which regular magic users create magic spells. Okay, cool. I just did that. So, magic daggers is I should have just cut that out, but I misread that wrong. So, to go over the magic items again, so magic daggers, artifacts which are not prescribed to specific prescribed items with respect to the illusionists, several miscellaneous magic items, the rod of cancellation, staff of striking, wand of enemy detection, fear, illusion, magic detection, metal and mineral detection, secret doors and trap detection, and the wand of wonder. All rings and potions not restricted to fighters only, and illusionist scrolls and magic user scrolls which contain spells usable by illusionists. Okay, I just had to clear that up because I wrote that wrong and I was reading it wrong. They can also, I think I said magical daggers as well. Clerics. Clerics are the healers of the party often, and they get a hit dice of a d8. They have a prime requisite of 15. They need a wisdom score of 9. Yes, that's it. But their prime requisite is 15 wisdom. And it's 13 if a multi-classed half-elf cleric. And I believe the only classes that can play as... I didn't write this down because I was rushing again. Character races. Let's go to racial preferences. Actually, I think it's right before this. Page 14, isn't it? Yes. The only characters that can play as clerics are half-elves, half-orcs, and humans. Even though elves, dwarves, and gnomes can be found as NPC clerics. I kind of also hand-wave that rule because I really like dwarf clerics, so I kind of hand-wave it. Usable magic items by clerics. Clerics can employ a fair number of magical items, including most potions, clerical and protection scrolls, most rings, some wands, rods, and staves, many other magical items, and all non-edged, non-pointed magical weaponry. As they are able to wear armor, clerics can employ all forms of magical armor and magical shields too. Their class abilities. They have the ability to turn away ghasts, ghosts, ghouls, liches, mummies, shadows, skeletons, specters, wights, wraiths, vampires, and zombies. This is the turn undead ability that was talked about in the paladin thing. This is the matrix is actually found in the Dungeon Master's Guide. But when a cleric achieves 8th level, titled Patriarch or Matriarch, he or she automatically attracts followers if the cleric establishes a place of worship, a building of not less than 2,000 square feet in floor area with an altar, shrine, chapel, etc. These followers are fanatically loyal and serve without pay so long as the cleric does not change deities or alignment. These followers must number between 20 and 200, 2d10 totaled and multiplied by 10. In addition, there will be followers who are men at arms, and your referee will relay the types and numbers at the appropriate time. Upon reaching 9th level, titled High Priest or High Priestess, the cleric has the option of constructing a religious stronghold. This fortified place must contain a large temple, cathedral, or chapel of not less than 25,000 square feet on the ground floor. It can be a castle or monastery, an abbey, or the like. It must be dedicated to the cleric's deity or deities. The cost of construction will be only 1/2 the usual for such a place because of religious help. If the cleric then clears the surrounding territory and humans dwell in this area, there will be a monthly revenue of 9 silver pieces per inhabitant from trades, taxes, and tithes. Druids. Similarly to the what's it called? The cleric. The druid has a hit dice of a d8, a prime requisite of a wisdom of 15 and dexterity of 15. Stat requirements of a wisdom of 12 and dexterity of 15. You can play as a human or half-elf. Upon becoming 3rd level, druids title Initiate of the First Circle, and with each level increase thereafter, a druid gains a language of his or her choice. Centaur, Dryad, Elvish, Faun, Gnome, Green, Dragon, Hill, Giant, Lizard Man, Manticore, Nixie, Pixie, Sprite, or Treantish. Druids will never destroy woodlands or crops no matter what the circumstance. Even though the woods, for example, where evilly hostile creatures may roam, druids will not destroy it, although nothing would prevent them from changing the nature of the place if the desire and wherewithal existed. In similar fashion, they will avoid slaying wild animals or even domestic ones except as necessary for self-preservation and sustainability, I think. It's just sustenance. Sustenance, not sustainability. Sustenance. For self-preservation and sustenance. If druids observe any creature destroying their charges, the druid are unlikely to risk their lives to prevent the destruction. This is, I think, mistletoe that they're talking about. Rather, it is probable that the druid will seek retribution and revenge at a later date as opportunity presents itself. In connection with their nature worship, druids have certain innate powers, which are gained at higher levels. At 3rd level, initiate of the 1st circle, a druid gains the following abilities: identification of plant types, identification of animal type, identification of pure water, power to pass through overgrown areas, undergrowth of tangled thorn, briar patches, etc., without leaving a discernible trail and at normal movement rate. In melee combat, druids fight as clerics, and they do suffer somewhat with their inability to wear protective armor of metal. They likewise make saving throws as clerics, but against fire and lightning attacks, they get a bonus of +2 on their die roll. Above all other druids is a lone figure, the Great Druid. The Supreme Druid is attended by 9 initiates of the 9th circle. Note, it is possible that other henchmen and hirelings, as well as worshippers, will be found with any particular druid. All servitors of upper level druids are faithful protectors. They are not otherwise considered henchmen, per se. At such time, as a druid class player character attains experience points sufficient to advance him or her to druid 12th level, the corresponding powers are gained only. If there are currently fewer than 9 or other characters of druid level, or the player characters best one of the 9 druid level characters in spell or hand-to-hand combat, if the combat is not mortal, the losing combatant drops the exact number of experience points necessary to place him or her in the beginning of the next lower level. If the player character succeeds, he or she becomes a druid with full powers, and the former druid, assuming case 2 above, becomes an initiate of the 9th level. If the player character loses, he or she remains at lower level and exactly has fewer experience points in the bargain. This process is repeated with respect to a druid becoming an archdruid, and for an archdruid becoming the Great Druid. Multiple attempts to move upwards are possible as long as the character survives. At 7th level, initiate of the 5th circle, the following additional powers are gained. 1, immunity from charm spells, spells cast by creatures basically associated with the woodlands, dryads, nixies, sylphs, etc. And 2, ability to change form up to 3 times per day, actually becoming, in all respects save the mind, a reptile, bird, or mammal. That is A, each type of creature form can be assumed but once per day. B, the size of the creature form assumed can vary from small as a bullfrog, blue jay, or bat, or as large to a large snake, an eagle, or a black bear, about double the weight of the druid. And C, each assumption of a new form removes 10% to 60%, a d6 multiplied by 10 of the hit points of damage. If any the druid has sustained prior to changing form. Now we're on to monk. I don't like monks. I don't. First off, they have a d4 hit points and they're a fighter, technically. They have a prime requisite of... Let me look here. I don't think they gain a prime requisite. No, they don't have a prime requisite. To my knowledge, I'm not seeing one. I think that's why I put it there. So they do not have a prime requisite. Okay. But you need a strength of 15, a wisdom of 15, a dexterity of 15, and a constitution of 11. You can only be human. Your usable magic items are not listed either, I don't think. I would assume they can use... What weapons can they use? This will help. What weapons can they use? Let's actually look. I think they can use any. Armor, shield. They can use bow sticks, clubs, crossbows, daggers, hand axes, javelins, joe sticks, pole arms, spears, and staves. So I assume they can only have... And they can't wear magical armor, they can't wear magical shields, so I assume they can only have magical weapons of that sort. alignment, they can be lawful of any kind. Class abilities. They add 1/2 of a hit point per level of experience to the amount of damage they score when they successfully attack an opponent with a weapon. A first level monk scores X plus 1/2 HP of damage, where X equals the damage done by the weapon and HP equals the number of hit points of damage. A second level does X plus 1, a third level does X plus 1/2, and so on, all the way up to Grandmaster of Flowers, who scores X plus 8.5 HP damage. Monks of median level and above actually fight better without weapons, using their open hands despite the weapon damage bonus they receive. Open hand combat is shown on Monk's table 2 below. In addition, the monks has a chance to stun or even kill an opponent. An opponent is stunned by a monk for 1d6 melee rounds if the score of the monk's to hit dice exceeds the minimum number required for a hit by 5 or more. If 15 is required, a score of 20 would indicate a stun. The to hit scores rolled by the monk are never modified by any strength ability. The chance to kill is a percentage which is equal to the armor class of the opponent, modified by the number of experience above 7 which the monk has. So an AC -1 is a negative chance for killing, as an example, but the monk of 9th level to above would allow 1% chance of killing. Note that 1. The monk must score a hit and 2. The hit must be stunned. Note that 1, the monk must score a hit, and 2, the hit must stun the opponent, and 3, the percentile dice score must be equal to or less than the armor class of the stunned opponent, modified by the monk's level over 7th in order to score a kill. Sorry, I was reading that very weird. Monks make saving throws on the tables used by thieves, and they gain certain advantages. Non-magical missiles, arrows, bullets, thrown daggers, thrown javelins, thrown spears, etc., which would normally hit, can be dodged or knocked aside if the monk is able to make his or her saving throw against petrification for each such potential hit. In other respects, if a monk makes his or her saving throw against an attack form, the monk will sustain no damage from the attack. Even if the attack form was a fireball, for instance, a 9th level Master of North Winds or higher, a monk who fails to make his or her saving throw will sustain but 1/2 the total potential damage which the attack form could deliver if possible. That is, a fireball would do 50% of damage, but the gaze of a basilisk would still petrify the monk. So basically, you're like dodging stuff. You're karate kidding it, I guess. Wax on, wax off. 4. At first level experience, the monk is likely to be surprised as any other character, i.e. 33 and 1/3 chance, which I think is 1 to 2 on a dice. This chance goes down to 32 at second, and is thereafter goes down by 2% per level. So there is a 30% chance of surprising a 3rd level monk, 28% chance at 4th level, 26 at 5th, etc. Monks having the following thief abilities, which they can perform at an identical level of experience to that of a thief, i.e. 1st level monks perform as a 1st level thief, 2nd level monks as a 2nd level thief, etc. The abilities are open locks, which you talked about, find or move traps, move silently, hide shadows, hear noise, climb wall. See the thief section, or scroll back to where we talked about the thieves. 5. Although the chance of falling while climbing walls is the same as that of a thief or equal level, monks can escape taking damage as follows. At 4th level, titled Disciple, a monk can fall up to 20 feet if he or she is within 1 foot of a wall. At 6th level, Master, or Title Master, a monk can fall up to 30 feet if he or she is in 4 feet of a wall. I think that's actually 10 feet, 40 feet. And then at 13th level, Master of Winter, a monk can fall any distance if he or she is within 80 feet of a wall. The monk must have an opportunity to periodically make contact with the wall during the descent. The wall is used by the monk to slow the fall so that no points of damage are sustained from the fall. Note that when reference to a wall is made, any similar surface such as a tree trunk, cliff face, and the like are equally useful to the monk. So, that is it. That is all the classes. We're at 44 minutes. We have made it through. Important things to note are that each class is very hard to explain. I will go more into depth later. This is just a basic overview of their abilities. When we actually play on Saturday, we will have a few other classes in there, which are the Unearthed Arcana, which I will be referencing in a different video, which changes some things. It adds in Thief Acrobats, Cavaliers, makes Paladins a Cavalier subclass, it adds in Barbarians, so on and so forth, to different things. But that is the basic Player's Handbook classes. So, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all enjoyed the new title card as well. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. If you have questions, shoot a comment down below. I will answer you as quickly as possible. Please join us Wednesday nights and Thursday nights at 9:10 Central for our live streams. And feel free to click the Patreon in the description below. Thank you all, and I hope you have a fantastic morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you be watching this. This is peace out from the Vile Necromancer. Goodbye, everyone.